except I received this insight about a title called Prisoner of War. The book
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Weekly Dose of Dano TV. Let's go, man. I'm super excited to be here with you guys. Today we are in for a very special treat. We have David Vardeman. I met him, I want to say it was Maryland or the DC area at, kind of a mixer event. And man, when I tell you, David is chock full of so many golden nuggets and great knowledge. We are in, when I tell you, we are seriously in for a treat today. So I want to thank everybody for watching this right now. If you're watching live or if you're watching on the replay, let me know. Let me know. Drop a hashtag replay just to let me know that you're rocking with me right now, that you're here, and that you're here to experience all of the great knowledge and the great times that we have on Weekly Dose of Dano TV. Make sure you're sharing the stream with everybody, just because you never know who you can affect. And times, in these uncertain times, I think we all need a little bit of positivity, and we all need a little piece, a little piece of advice or little strategies on what we can do in order to unlock our potential, which is actually what we're going to be talking about today, as long as a few different areas as well. Just talking about the way the world is right now, how to cope with your work, how to unlock your potential, and other miscellaneous ideas and activities. And hey, whatever comes up is what comes up, and that's what we talk about, because we talk about the real stuff. We don't talk about the fake stuff. We talk about what's going on in everybody's life and every moment, because you never know what we're all going through. If you're rocking with me right now, please drop a hashtag positivity posse. You already did it, Jeanette, even before I even said it. So that's what I'm talking about. That's how you know the positivity posse is alive, and that's how you know it is well. So that's what I'm talking about. Thank you so much for that. Like I said, make sure you drop that positivity posse, and we should be A-okay for today. So today is a very beautiful day. I mean, I heard about this earlier, and it was a thought that never really came into my mind, and you don't really think about it until you're living it. There's so many different things that people were experiencing today. Somebody for the first time, they said, I love you to their significant other, or, somebody that they really care about. Some teenager maybe passed their driver's license. Somebody got that promotion that they wanted. A person got an abundance of money that they've been asking for. It is so great to think about all the amazing things that is going on for today. And I really hope that something amazing has happened to you today. And I can give you one if you can't think of it right off the bat. You woke up today, you're watching this right now, you're with a community of people that really care about your well-being, and we're here to spread the word. And we have David Vardeman on the show. Let's get it. Before we bring him on, though, you already know what we got to do. Life's little instruction book right here. If the camera wants to focus, 511 suggestions, observations, and reminders on how to live a happy, rewarding life. I always open up the page in the middle of the commercials, but today I was just reading all of David's achievements, accolades, everything that he's done. And when I kid you not, let me move back a little bit. This page is about this long, so I was a little bit distracted for today, but I can't wait for you guys to bring him, or I can't wait to bring him on so you guys can meet him. Here we go. All right, number 175. That's what we're rocking with today. It's right here. Give people a second chance, but not a third. Give people a second chance, but not a third. I don't know who needs to hear that for today. Maybe it might be me. Maybe it might be you. Hey, it might even be David. Who knows? I think some people they don't think about certain decisions when they're going through the midst of everything, and they're all blinded by the smoke and mirrors. So sometimes we don't always make the right decision. So, I believe in second chances. So, but like you said, if you do it, if you give them a third chance, then I think you're just playing yourself. How does it go? Fool me once, shame on me, or fool me twice, shame on you, something like that. But anyway, listen to the Life's Little Instruction book. It's chock full of knowledge. And now, man, I can't wait for you guys to see what we're rocking with for today. Here we go. The Positivity Posse. Hello, nice to see you, Lou. Nice to see Denise. Hashtag hi all. Positivity Posse. That's what I'm talking about. But now, here we go. It's time to bring on David David, what are you doing, man? Stop accepting more awards. It's time to get on the show. David.
Hey. I'm doing good. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing amazing. Life is amazing. Life is beautiful. Wow. It's amazing. We've been talking about this. We had our pre-screening phone calls. You sent me your novel, all of your achievements, man. Thank you so much, first and foremost, for accepting this position for today. We have a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
So going off of the Life's Little Instruction book, what do you believe about second chances? Do you believe in them or do you not?
I definitely believe in second chances because most people have good hearts, and you got to let that come through. And so I highly recommend, especially with family, family will get on your nerves and you got to give them multiple, maybe second chances 50 times, right?
Yeah.
So, you just have to go with the flow and just, remember that everybody has their own struggles in life and they just have their moments. And if you can recognize that, then you can get through it. And, I never hold those grudges because they're just unhealthy. So that's how I see it. So I will give anybody a second chance for me.
Yeah. Are you guys hearing this? This is just David, he's about to go off, man. And I can't wait. So honestly, there's so much that we need to talk about right now. And I remember one of the things that you love to talk about is meeting one's potential and how to unlock that. So let's start by saying this. To me, when I think of unlocking my potential, I think of doing that is kind of like a Rubik's Cube. Mm-hmm. Where do you even start? And I think that's where we should start, is where do you start in trying to unlock your potential?
I think when you're starting to work on your potential, and this is sort of a new theory that I'm coming up with due to the fact that I'm looking at the statistics of 9 out of 10 individuals leave their job because of their boss. And I'm thinking, are they leaving because of their boss? Or are they leaving because they're trying to meet their potential in terms of what they think their skill sets are? And it made me think that maybe people could have a better life if in a better moment at work, if they don't look at their boss as the issue, but themselves in terms of their own personal goals of meeting their own potential. So I would think the first thing you would want to do is, decide really what is important to you and then begin to work towards that and have your own agenda. Because if you don't have your own agenda, nobody's going to have it for you, right? So don't count on your boss. Don't count on his budgets and whatever he has, that he has to work through in terms of expectations. Just have that your own agenda in terms of your expectations of what you want to be and what you want to become. And if you have that, it's a lot easier to deal and cope with work because you're always working on yourself and you know where your destination is going to go. So that's what I feel, and I'm just coming up with these concepts, but I'm going to be working on that in terms of my mentorships as well. Is what is really causing you to be unhappy? Is it your boss that 9 out of 10 people say, or is it because your own desire to meet your own personal potential?
Wow, and that speaks to me too. I don't know if you know this actually, but I stopped going to college because for that exact reason. I didn't think that all the information that I was learning at the time, like the math and reading these history books, whatever the case may be, I just didn't think that was helping me unlock my potential. I believe that the whole spiritual side and the whole just mastery of the infield practice of whatever profession you want to go in. For me, it's going to be TV. I think that's what really helps you maximize, your potential. Now, there was one thing that you said just now, and it was about shifting the focus on, blaming your boss versus blaming yourself. There's also another aspect with passion. Where would you rank self-accountability and passion when it comes to unlocking your potential?
That's a great question because everybody says I'm crazy, passionate person. And so I think you have to be passionate and have enthusiasm in order to achieve anything special. If you don't have that, then how are you going to encourage other people and inspire other people, to either follow you or follow their own dreams? So it's so important, to go down that road and to be always positive in terms of your outlook. So I think that answered your question, right? So yeah. So that's let's revisit or ask another. Was there a follow-up question with that?
Oh, well, I just feel like a lot of people, they don't know really what's important to them. So when they follow that passion, I think that's where that's where you can start. Once you have that passion and you know what you're good at or what you enjoy, then what they say, it really doesn't even feel like work at the time when you're in it. So a lot of people kind of forget about that. I remember maybe about 3 or 4 weeks ago, I played the little segment of a video that I saw on Instagram, and this guy claims to be like, a life coach, and he, self-proclaimed that he's this and that, but he said the exact opposite. He said, "Listen, you're not gonna like what you do. It's you learning to like what you do over time." And is what do you have to say to people like that? Is that a good rule to follow?
I think it's a good rule to follow, but also, in terms of following your passion, I understand a little bit better where you're going. What can really have a nice impact and blend in your life is if you have that deep passion and it blends into your work. I helped the United States veterans, and really it was service that brought me. It wasn't necessarily United States veterans, but I grew up as a Navy brat, et cetera. So it was natural for me to go down that road. So I think being able to blend the service with the work and having a passion outside of work that blends into work really can make it really make a special work experience and have meaning. And so the meaning to your job is not just, executing in the field and doing all the things I have to do professionally, but also I have meaning outside of it, and it brings a lot of self-fulfillment. So I would recommend people, have a hobby or do something that you're really passionate about that can possibly blend into your work time and make it more of an enjoyable experience. Because I'm definitely doing that every single day. There isn't a day that goes by I don't help a United States veteran. So, and that's part of my job too. So I just, I sort of blended my desire and passion with my work and made it into something special.
Wow, I love that. And that's something that a lot of people don't do. I know when I was, like I said, I'm going to bring up the college point again.
Mm-hmm.
When I was going to college, man, I see a lot of people trying to appease their parents. They're going to school because their parents say they need to be a lawyer, or they need to be a doctor, whatever the profession is. What about yourself? Nobody's going to live in your shoes. So that's what really baffles me. It's like, how could you possibly live life on somebody else's terms?
Mm-hmm.
Now, right here, I think this is a great question because a lot of people don't enjoy their environment that they're in. I think they feel like maybe they're stuck, or maybe you can talk to those people specifically if they feel stuck. Do you think it's possible to unlock your potential if you don't like the environment that you're in?
I don't advocate, being in an unhealthy environment. What I do advocate is, trying to come to terms with what is going on around you so you can be empowered in terms of what your end goals are. If you walk out of a job and you don't have a job, then you don't have an income, and it makes it more difficult, to get the next one, right? So is it better, what is exactly is occurring in your situation that is making you unhappy? And if you can come up with that, then you'll be able to cope better with the environment that you're in. Doesn't mean it's a good environment for you, but you could cope with that. So your success ratio when you leave can be a much more pleasant experience, not only for you, but the company that you're leaving. So there are no hard feelings there. And I think that might help people in terms of that they're in a job that they don't like, et cetera. Think about your own agenda. Think about what you want to accomplish and what are you doing in this structure that can make it better. So when I leave, I'll have good thoughts and good opinions with the people that I worked with, but also I'll go on to do better, bigger and better things. So that's my point of view. I'm trying to work on and become an expert at talking about a little bit better in terms of meeting one's potential and coping at the workplace. So you're my first experiment about talking to it, but I've lived it myself, so I can try to share with it as best as I can. But I do recommend that.
That's amazing.
And I'm doing it myself in terms of over my course of my life, and I wish I knew now I wish I knew back then what I know now. I mean, I think it would have been a lot more enjoyable because I was a very, very focused on success in terms of personal success, and it was at all, it can become all absorbing. Okay, because once you hit a certain success ratio, then they just expect you to be there every single year, every single week, every single day. So the journey to get there should be enjoyable. Okay?
Yeah. And I think that's what a lot of people miss out on is exactly what you said. They think that once they hit that certain point, oh, now I'm going to be happy. No, you have to enjoy it along the way. Now, this is a perfect segue because I hope you guys have your pens. I hope you guys have your notepads because David's about to drop some golden nuggets. You said, I wish I would have known back then what I know now. Now, let's say for somebody my age, I'm 24 years old. What are like maybe 3 pieces of advice that you'll be able to give to the younger generation? Because like we said, here's a comment right here. Hindsight is 2020. We all wish what we knew then, what we know now. What are 3 pieces of information or pieces of advice that you wish you knew back then?
I wish I knew better to enjoy the moment, and enjoy the success and the people around me that are helping me get to where I am. In my 20s and 30s, I was just so driven that the moment was never good enough. A success was never good enough, and I wish I just enjoyed those moments a little bit more, and was able to expand on that overall experience in more of a positive light. It was more, this was expected, my parents expect this of me, this is something that I should just be doing instead of, patting, every once in a while, patting yourself on the back and saying, I did accomplish something special and be proud of that. And that's hard to do. I mean, people are really hard on themselves, and that would be number 2 is, don't be so hard on yourself. Life is tough. Everybody has to go through it. There's going to be moments where you're successful. There's going to be moments when you're down. There's going to be moments when you think that nobody is helping you. There's going to be times when you're going to think that you can't do anything right. And there's going to be times when you think you're the best thing in the world. So don't be hard on yourself when you're struggling, because everybody goes through their own life struggles and life problems, and they're very similar from person to person. I'm finding more and more and I'm meeting people, and more I'm talking to people. It's very similar. I mean, we all have similar issues that we all go through, and so just remember that, and try to enjoy the ride, because the ride is what it's all about. Because the destination, it's just the destination. But I'm now really getting into the ride of life, and I would say I wish I knew that back then, to not be hard on myself, and just really enjoy each day and every day. And you need another one, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, there's one that you can think of. I mean,
those are two biggies.
Yeah.
I think balance. Like a lot of there's studies that show like a man has and a woman have three critical elements: spiritual life, physical health, and occupation. And so I think maybe if I knew that better when I was in my 20s and 30s, I could have maybe balanced those better. They're very important. And I do a lot of healthcare work with the veterans, and they typically will be one of those will be off link, and we need to bring one of them back, right? Whether it's their confidence in physical fitness, whether they don't have a job, or whether they're losing their spirituality and faith in society. So these three things, need to be worked on continuously for every person. And if you do that, then and have that balance, that will help you, I think, be very happy individual, or be a more pleasant and have that calmness in the soul.
I love that. And what I really enjoy about you is that you're very analytical. Like, you're not just saying things that, sound great. You always have the evidence and the numbers to always back it up.
Mm-hmm.
And let me tell you guys, I really, really, really strongly hope that you're listening to everything that David is saying, because, man, I don't want to throw out your credentials and your accolades out here, but I have to let everybody know this. I can't say the name of the company, but for right here, David has out of 54,000 employees, and he wanted to be a little bit more humble by saying there were 20 divisions, but to me that actually doesn't even matter. You won Employee of the Year. Was it? I see 3 times, but it might have been 4 in 2008, 2009, and 2010. So this is like, you live this experience. You live through all of these trials and tribulations. So why should somebody listen to you? Versus listening to Joe Schmo out there that has no idea what they're talking about?
Well, I think I have the track record of success and also accolades in terms of what I've done in the field in terms of volunteerism. So it's sort of a balance of both professionalism and volunteerism, and also execution at the highest level for pretty much whatever task is given to me. So that I think is more unique. I'm a perfectionist, so I really try hard to be perfect in terms of everything I'm doing. So I think everybody has a good story to tell. And I mean, the first time we met, you said, I was a little tired at that mixer event, and you got me going, because you said everybody can talk about something. Tell me about what I should do at a networking event. And I was so impressed by that, and it inspired me to say, you know what, I got to get busy again. I got to get back on track. And it's such a great. There are these little events that happen in your life, and they really can be really special, and help you get through hard times, and also get through moments of self-doubt. So, your little comment there that said, stop complaining and start working, that was sort of cool and got me going again. And that's how we all got, we talked. And so everybody has that vision.
Yeah.
But that may not answer your question, but I just
No.
I just don't want to like compare myself to somebody else,
You're all good. You're all good. I mean, and thank you for the kind words. I really do.
Yeah, that was a cool moment. Yeah.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. And there's gonna be more to come, man. I can't wait for all the advice and everything that you have planned, because I know you are not gonna stop until the day that you drop. Hashtag Mars. No, I'm just kidding. Just because it rhymes. I'm just blown away. And even though I'm reading these, accolades, and it's not really even about that. It's just the fact that you're always of service, to military members. And for right now, it's, I'm not even a military member. My viewers aren't the military members either, but you still decide to be of service. And I think that's a lens that we all need to look at. The more that we give, the more that we can receive, and the more we receive, the more we can give. So it's a beautiful cycle. And I think a lot of people lose track about that. Now, we're going to switch the gears a little bit because we always talk about, the positive, but I'm just going to play a little bit of devil's advocate.
Okay.
How detrimental is the idea of being comfortable or comfortability in respect to unlocking your potential? How bad is that?
Oh yeah. I mean, you can really become comfortable to your situation and the years go by. Okay. And then you wake up one day and it's 4 years later and you were comfortable and you wish you had been busier, trying to better yourself in one way or the other. I think being comfortable is very, very, can limit your potential. It can limit your desire to excel in whatever you're doing because comfort, one good thing about my job is I can never be comfortable because sales, you're only good as your last sale. So I'm always on edge, but I do think you can become comfortable with your salary. You can become comfortable with your setting. And are you growing as an individual? And I guess that goes back to what we talked about earlier in terms of, coping and in terms of meeting one's potential. You can't meet your own personal potential if you're in a comfort zone that you find that you just do not want to get out. And a lot of the great individuals that were attorneys that became furniture designers and all sorts of wild stuff, they decided that this comfort level of being an attorney didn't meet their heart and desire, didn't meet their passion. And so they had the bravery to move out and do something that did. And their success ratio is very, very high because they're focused, right? So don't be scared. I used to be scared. That's another one. There's your third nugget. Don't be scared. I used to be scared of my biggest fear was being unemployed. I don't know why, but I had this desire, terrible, I can't be unemployed ever. And so that kept me driven, but it also fear can limit your interaction with people. It can make you not as nice a person. It can also make you more of a defensive person. So if I could go back and start and have advice, I would be, don't be afraid to go with your passion. And I do a lot of mentoring for young adults throughout the nation that come to Washington, D.C. in the summertime. And I tell them, go where your heart tells you to go and build from there. So you need to go where your heart tells you to go, and you need to have the strength and the courage to build from what is really important to you. And for instance, what you're doing in terms of these the video, this is very now. This is very, and I was excited to come because I'm getting up there in age and I want to be part of the now, right? And so you can't be scared to get on a video and experience a new experience like I am with you today. And on the young person side, they get scared that they're not going to make enough money, or they're scared that if they take this job, then they're never going to, meet an expectation that they have of themselves. But if you go where your heart tells you to go and you work really hard and you are passionate about what you're doing, the money will come over age. The money will come. Just keep plugging. And you'll learn how to meet your financial potential, but you'll also learn how to meet your own personal potential. So that would be another advice, and that's one of my quotes. That's national. Go where your heart tells you to go and build from there. And if you do that, then you're going to be in a really good place, especially if you're starting out in the world.
Oh yeah. What did I tell you guys? Man, I told you David's gonna be blessing us with these nuggets today. I mean, even in the comments, you have everybody, responding to what you're saying. David, you're dropping golden nuggets, growing out, lift others. Congrats on your success. That was already one that I showed before. But man, seriously, you're crushing it right now. And I really love how you're not really over dramatizing, like you're just giving it straight up, and that's how it is. So we have one more question before we have to do the the commercials in the middle.
Okay.
Now it just kind of came up on the spot. When you say success ratios, would you be able to explain what that is? Because is that like a little bit about, is that like a small success? Like, hey, I chose my salad over my pizza today. Or is that like an achievement that, what is a success ratio? And how big or small do these successes have to be for you to count them?
A success, like a success ratio can be as small as like I did this morning. I have not walked in 3 days, and I was like, I got to go for a walk this morning, or I'm not going to feel very good, right? So that was a success. That was a win for me. And so I think doing the little things for yourself that make you happy are so important. And whether that's working out or whether that's cooking a nice meal for yourself, or whether it's drinking your coffee in the morning, whatever makes you happy, engage in that. And that's a success for you during the course of the day. In terms of career success, that takes, you need to know where you want to be. You need to know what that success is. I won the national awards because I saw other people on the stage and I said, I'm just as good as them, right? So that became a passion on the work level and the success level. And then in terms of spirituality, you need to decide what time. You got to give that time. You got to give that. Got to give your soul some rest in order for that to balance too. So again, it goes to the spirituality, physicality, and occupation. I mean, if you can balance those, then the success ratio of your day-to-day life will be very, very high.
That's what I'm talking about. I hope you guys are writing this down. I hope you're taking it in. I know I'm going to have to watch this episode at least about 3 other times just to really fully grasp everything that you're saying, because you're spitting facts right now, man. We love it. So don't go anywhere, everybody. We just have to play these commercials from our sponsors. And please don't go anywhere. Make sure you're sharing this out to anybody who may need it. And we have more fire content coming from Dano and David. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after a word from our sponsors. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. Those are just a quick word from our sponsors. And sorry that we had to do it. I know the flow was great. I'm feeling the energy. Are you guys feeling it, man? I'm loving it. I'm loving this right now. David, thank you so much again. We really, really do appreciate all of your time and all of your wisdom for coming on today. Now, I consider you to be, in the top, at the time when you were working with that company, you were obviously in the top 1%. And you know what they say, in order to be in the top 5%, you have to do what 95% aren't doing. What are some of the things that you've done personally and maybe that you observed throughout your years with helping other people that they don't do that you decided to actually, take the opportunity and act on it?
What a great question. I think that's a great question. Thank you so much. Because what I do differently is I don't worry about if this activity is going to make a sale. I worry about, is this activity going to make a difference, right? And I often will help a group of people that, there's no profitability for me on this particular item, but what it does is it enriches my spirit, and it also helps other people. And what comes around goes around. So I've always been successful because, I'm helping these individuals that it may not help your goals or your work, but it will help society. It will help those people get ahead, right? And that's what's important. Like, why are you so important? No, we're only one individual out of 380 million in the country, right? So just always remember that your time and your activities and are important regardless of what other people think. I go out on business calls, and I'll just quickly finish on this. I go out on business calls with other bankers or other individuals, and they don't see the value of going to these events where I'm just trying to meet one or two people and build a connection, and that just builds my network out, right? So every event, everything you do is valuable, and don't be hard. Again, don't be hard on yourself that you think you're wasting your time and your goals, because you're not. You're enriching your life and other people's, even if you don't even know it.
Wow. And that's one of the, a lot of the people nowadays, that's what it's all about. Money talks. So
Right.
I
The money will come, but,
yeah,
but your what you do for other people, and what you do for society, and how you integrate that is so much more valuable than money. I know that because I know it. I mean, you can have all the money in the world and have a dark heart, so just remember that, make sure that you have the balance that means something to you. And if it does, that's great, because that's you, right? And somebody else may need a little bit more of something else, but I'll tell you, you'll be so much happier, and you'll really enjoy your work and everything if you're not hard on yourself in terms of enjoying moments that other people are not enjoying, right? Or other people don't think are valuable, because they really are. And just always remember that when you're out in the community.
Oh yeah, and I think a lot of people don't really don't really value the power of sending good energy out into the universe. I know, I'm not sure if you know too much about that, but even if you don't, you're still doing amazing things. But I firmly believe when you send out that positive energy, the universe really understands, and it appreciates it, so it gives it back to you, in forms of abundance, good health, whatever it may be. So always, yeah, it's like you said. Another point too that you just said is you can have all the money in the world but still have a dark heart. Is that really going to make you happy? I mean,
No.
man,
I don't think anybody thinks on their deathbed, I wish I made another $50 5 years ago. I don't think anybody thinks like, do you think I'm going to think about think of all of the relationships I've done in terms of my career, right? Do you think I'm going to remember, some transaction I did in 2002? I mean, no, you're going to remember the good things that you did in life. You're going to remember who you helped. You're going to remember making that moment special. And just as a story, I just recently, I'm on the board of a group that does military transition. And I work with very famous Medal of Honor recipients, et cetera. But I recently met a Afghani translator, and I worked with the board, and I got the translators to also be part of the same study and same transition program than a United States veteran. So I brought the Afghani community into this circle. And the same day I did that, the individual I was helping, his wife was stuck at that horrible airport in Kabul. And
this took place this year, right? A few months ago.
Yeah, this is the very recent. Yeah. So I just recently did, and then she was able to get out, and they reunited, and now we're going to help her as well, in her transition, right? So those are the sort of things I will remember, and this is, I have now friends for life in terms of my helping these two individuals, and they're only in their early 20s, and saving their lives in terms of their escape of Afghanistan, but also, getting them on a path, the United States dream, and making the opening of other individuals' help as well, that deserve it based on their service to the United States and also to their dreams of their own culture. So we have to honor that, and that is something I'll remember. I will not remember that sale in 2002. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
but these are the sort of things. This has just happened recently, and it's very special to me right now. And it just occurred. And so I'm going to meet the wife this month in October, and I'm going to be taking them both as my special guests to the gala that we'd have on December, celebrating all of our success for the year.
Yeah,
So they'll be my special guest.
Yeah, keep up the great work, man. I mean, this is like, when I tell you guys that I don't think you guys know who we have right here on the show, I better recognize, man. So I kind of want to shift gears. We're going to take it in a completely different, not completely different direction, but in a new topic. And we like to help people cope with their workplace. So a lot of people right now, as we already know, there's a lot of shortages. There's not enough people working. How can somebody, cope with that environment? Let's say they're overworked and they're super stressed right now. You can take nurses as an example. You can take the restaurant industry, so many different areas. What are some of the things that they can all cope with, in regards to their field?
Well, I can do a shout out for the nurses and the people that are really helping society right now during COVID-19, the law enforcement, and all those groups. And I can just tell a quick story. I was helping veterans for 3 years in terms of suicide prevention. And I became very, 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 very tired and exhausted because it's such an intense topic. And I was dealing with veterans one-on-one, and it was really exhausting. And I remember I was supposed to meet an admiral at a metro stop. Then he switched the metro stops the evening before, and I was so exhausted from work, and I went to the wrong metro stop, right? And I'm sitting there, and a 3-star admiral is like, I'm telling him that I went to the other, you have to come drive and get me. And we were going to Annapolis to have a visit of Annapolis. And when I was standing there, I was like, I don't know if I can continue doing this veteran work. I don't know if this is something that I can do. It's too exhausting. It's too emotional. Look at me. I'm standing here, by myself in the middle of nowhere at some metro, and I have to wait probably half an hour to 45 minutes for this guy to get to the other metro, and he's taking the time to do it. And I just felt so bad and so low at that moment. And I looked down on my phone, and on the phone, it was the United States Army granting me the United States flag flown in Iraq, for the service I did for the nation. So God will come in and He'll help you out when you're down, and God will lift you up if you're doing the right thing and you're helping society. So those nurses and those firefighters and those police officers and the people that helped in the Capitol Hill with the Capitol Police. I mean, all these people will have their down moment, but their service will be recognized. You'll have those moments, special moments in life that will lift you up and keep you on the path. So right when I got that text, my whole life changed in a second, and I was right back to where I was. So something is looking out for people that are doing powerful and good things. And just be part of that culture, and don't be scared to be part of that culture, because it may be new, it may be a little different, but if you give and give and give, you'll get that recognition, but it will come at times when you never expect it. I never expected that text at that moment. Actually, it's an email. I never expected to see something like that at that moment, when I was so down and questioning whether or not I was making a difference.
Yeah. And I just want to do a little break right here. Not really a break, but just comment on here. Yeah, so Amanda's a nurse, and she's been struggling with balance. You chose to leave the hospital setting last week and started a different path this week, hoping you'll be better. Y'all wish you luck. So I want everybody right now, because this is what the Positivity Posse is really all about. Can we please all send our most best energies and most positive energies to Amanda, just to show that we're all here rocking with you right now, and we're all here to support you. So whatever decision that you decide to make, I can only imagine the things that you've seen. So I just, on behalf of the Positivity Posse and David as well, you're included in that, David, too, as you already know.
Absolutely.
We're wishing you all the best. So thank you for, being very transparent and sharing that with everybody inside of the Positivity Posse. And we wish you all nothing but the best, and the world is yours. So David, I'm pretty sure this is, like you just said, this is going to be a very serious topic. Is there a common denominator with, how you said you help with suicide prevention with people that served inside of the, in whatever field they may have served in? Was there a common denominator with every person that was struggling? And how did you help them realize, that they were worth living for, and that wasn't the right path to take?
I think the common thread that I'm finding, and that is a blessing, because I can take this knowledge and go to all different verticals of society, is post-traumatic stress disorder. And I think there's all sorts of elements of that in all sorts of different verticals of society, whether it's children abuse, whether it's domestic abuse, and whether it's trauma that somebody may have had physically. It just goes on and on. But the veterans have taught me that post-traumatic stress disorder and the problems with it, drug abuse is another one, that you can take those lessons and translate them to the same issues which people are struggling with, and try to make a difference and try to bring them up, and be there for them when it's difficult. And I remember there was a colonel that was his cat died and his mentor died in the same day, and who knows which one got more upset. But I helped them out that day, and God only knows what would have happened in that day. So I think just recognizing the triggers and trying to help them through their own personal trauma, is a common thread, I think, with that serious issue. I think, sexual orientations and other. I mean, there's just so many, you can go down so many different verticals in terms of understanding PTSD, and then being able to implement that into a positive role model or positive resource for people when they are experiencing those types of feelings.
Yeah.
So help people out, because they need it, and everybody sort of has their own issues that may trigger some sad feelings. So just be there for them and try to help them through that trauma.
Yeah, and I can tell you with all the guests, I've had a bunch of guests to come on the show from all different types of backgrounds, all over the world, thankfully. They do all have one thing in common, and it really, to me, is that your problems aren't special. You're the ones that's special. I can tell you countless people that, have been, maybe touched when they were a little kid, or, like you said, sexually abused, mentally abused. A lot of people have that in common, more than you may think, more than what I thought when I was, starting the show. I would have never thought that all of these different people from different backgrounds would have the same story. It's really all about how you respond to it. So please make sure that you're not the only one going through these issues. There's a bunch of people and a bunch of resources that are available made today. With the age of technology, it makes it even more apparent now and more accessible. You're not the only one going through that. So please, if you need to reach out to any support groups, if you need to reach out to the Positivity Posse, to David, literally whatever you may need, just don't be afraid. Don't think that you need to have this sense of pride, like, oh, I have it all figured out, or maybe the other way around. Nobody knows what I'm going through. No, that's not true. So always remember that's the point that I really want to drive home, is that your problems aren't special. You're the ones that's special. You're the one that is special. So make sure that you're responding to that in the best way that you can. So that's one of the driving points that I wanted to drive, to really emphasize for today. Now, David, we only have a few minutes left, so I'm pretty sure we're only going to have time for maybe 2 more questions.
Okay.
So do you recommend any books or any pieces of literature or podcasts or anything to help people really unlock their potential?
There's a good book with Dr. Jack London. He was a captain, and he was the founder of CACI, which is a 13, $14 billion annual receipt corporation, space technology. And it's sort of an iconic military defense contractor. But he wrote a book named Character, and that book really has helped me guide me in terms of insisting that my character does not deviate based on the circumstances that I'm in at that moment. I think a lot of people's character can be lost if they're in an uncomfortable situation or they're provoked or et cetera. So if you can maintain your character, that is so critical in terms of your dignity and your ethical foundation. So that's one book I could recommend. There's just so many military books, and I don't want to go down that road. So I'll just leave it at character. There's some leadership books I'm really impressed with that I'm reading. There's some people like you and me books that I've been reading that you probably couldn't find on Amazon that are sort of inspiring in terms of the field I'm in and not for profit. So I think if you find books that are also related to your industry and how to do a better job and connect with people a bit better, those books can be helpful. So I'm reading some of them right now. And so I'm sorry, I only have that one that I can quote, but
You're all good.
But I am reading different more technical books and books that are really driven in terms of issues that I'm dealing with right now.
Mhm. Well, thank you for that. And when I go back to watch this episode, I'm going to actually buy the book because that's something that I always love to learn. And I feel like if you're staying stagnant, that's not a good thing. That's part of that comfortability piece we were talking about before. So always learn, man. That's learning is the best thing in the world. I mean, if that's kind of the difference between the people that do and the people that think they can't do. Is having that knowledge. You know, you can take all the willpower and the determination and all of that, but I think the missing key is that knowledge in order to understand what you need to do. All right. So I always wrap up the show with this question.
Okay.
And I can't wait to hear your answer on this one. Woo, I'm excited. I just got chills. All right. If there's somebody right now who's watching this and they're in their deepest, darkest place,
Mm-hmm.
and let's just say they're tuning in right now, or maybe they didn't really understand everything that they were talking about before, that we were talking about before. What is the one piece of advice or one thing that you want them to take away from either this episode or helping them cope or get out of that negative place?
The negative place. I think, I've seen a lot of different and talked to a lot of different individuals that did survive being at that darkest place and trying to execute that darkest place. And the main point that a common theme was they felt that if I wasn't here, everything, people would be in a better place, or if I wasn't here, then life, everybody else would do better. Everybody else, I'm the cause of a lot of grief and pain. And they couldn't be farther from the truth. I mean, they are the ones that people are looking at and inspired to and want them to be successful and want them to, be happy and want them to meet their goals and their dreams. And I would just remind that person in dark place that you may think that, the world would be better off without you, but the world needs you and needs your special creativity and needs your passion towards what's important to you, because we all need your experiences and your troubles and your expression of how that can blossom into something really great. So this is what I would say to them is, you're helping me today, and you are a great human being, and I want you to make the very best of your life that you can. And that is really where my passion is now. And you sort of learn it through your life. It isn't something that just comes because everybody has their struggles. Like, you do have to make a livable salary. You do have to do A, B, C, D, right? But I'm just hoping that people will take this and enjoy the ride, as much as they can in order to really be a full and spiritually satisfied individual throughout the journey. And that is the best advice I can give, because that is something that I'm doing now, which again, I wish I had done my entire life.
Well, I mean, I don't know about you guys, but this has to be one of the best episodes that I've ever had on Weekly Dose of Dano. David, man, seriously, from the bottom of my heart, from everybody, rocking with the Positivity Posse, and maybe somebody who just found out who you were today, just thank you, man. All the work that you've been doing, even with the golden nuggets that you drop, and even with the infield work that you've done, man, it's just you can't put a price on it. I mean, you are doing amazing work, and please just never stop. I mean, you already know that, but you're helping out so many people, and I just want to say thank you so much. That was look, you even got the people they're going right now. Great show. David, you're an amazing individual. Good luck with everything. Wow. So seriously, thank you so much for everything. I knew there was a reason why we were waiting for this for a long time, and I didn't expect it to be this great. I mean, this is absolutely fantastic. So if you guys want to reach out to David, you can follow him on or become, I don't know how,
LinkedIn, you just accept, you put an invitation out and I accept it.
All right. Well, you can follow David or throw out the invitation on LinkedIn at David Vardeman. Or if you wanted to reach out to him and ask him any other questions, you could always reach out to me, and I'll be more than willing to forward David's information to you guys. So thank you guys all for today. Look, great stuff. This was amazing stuff today. Amanda, like we said, we're going to send you them energies again, the best energies. David, thank you for coming on today. This was amazing. I'm going to let you guys know right now, next week, I will not be doing an episode because I will be in Vegas doing an event for the E33 television network. I'm super excited about that, and I just wanted to give you guys the heads up. So thank you so much, David. This episode is good enough for 2 weeks. Hopefully, if you missed out on it today, you can come back and watch it next week. I hope everybody has a great weekend. Thank you so much, David. Again, I really do appreciate it, as well as everybody else. And I hope everybody has a great, fantastic weekend. Have a great weekend, everybody.
Bye, guys.